There is a moment that comes to every man and every woman, a moment when the body feels too heavy to carry, when the weariness is not just in the muscles but in the bones, in the breath, in the very soul. You know this moment. Perhaps you are living it right now. Perhaps you have been living it for days or months or years. The tiredness that sleep does not cure. The sickness that medicine has not fully reached. The ache that returns no matter how many times you push it away. If this is you, then what you are about to hear was spoken for you. Not for someone else, for you. Because there is a truth that most people spend their entire lives never discovering. A truth so close, so immediate, so available, that its nearness is the very reason it goes unseen. Your body is not your enemy. It is not betraying you. It is not broken beyond reach. It is listening. Right now, in this very moment, it is listening to every word you speak to it, every thought you repeat, every silent decree you issue from the hidden chambers of your mind. And tonight, we are going to change what you say to it. There is a law at work inside you that does not sleep, does not tire, and does not fail. Joseph Murphy gave his life to understanding this law and bringing it to ordinary men and women who suffered not because healing was impossible, but because they had never been shown the door. The door has always been there. It is inside you, and the key to it is the word you speak to your own body in the silence of your heart. What you impress upon your subconscious mind, your body must express. This is not poetry. This is not wishful thinking. This is the immovable law of your inner life. Write it down now and let it sink into you. What is impressed is expressed. Say it again. What is impressed is expressed. Your body has been faithfully expressing every impression you have given it. The question tonight is not whether the law works. The question is whether you are ready to use it rightly. Think for a moment about what you have been saying to your body. Not what you intended to say, what you actually said. In the quiet of the morning when you first opened your eyes, did you whisper, "I am so tired"? Did you sigh before your feet even touched the floor? Did you begin the day with a decree of exhaustion before the day had even asked anything of you? In the evening, when the ache settled in, did you tell your body, "This will never get better"? Did you rehearse tomorrow's pain before tomorrow had arrived? Did you say to yourself, "I cannot go on. I am finished. I am always this way"? If you did, your subconscious heard every word. It recorded every syllable. And it fashioned your body to obey, not because it wished you harm, but because it is faithful beyond measure, because it cannot refuse the commands of the one it serves. You are that one. You have always been that one. And tonight you will begin to give different commands. I knew a woman who had suffered with deep fatigue for 3 years. Doctors ran their tests. They found causes, they gave names to things, they offered remedies. And still she woke each morning feeling as though she had never slept. When I sat with her and asked her a simple question, I began to understand. I asked her, "What is the first thing you say when you open your eyes in the morning?" She thought for a moment, then she looked down and said, "I always say, 'Here we go again. Another day I will not get through.'" She said it so quietly, as if confessing something shameful. I told her it was not shameful. It was simply a command she had been giving her subconscious every single morning. And her subconscious, loyal and precise, had delivered that exact experience to her body every single day. Here we go again. The subconscious heard that decree and answered yes. We go again into exhaustion. We go again into heaviness. We go again into the valley you have described. The body was not sick. The body was obedient. When she changed the first word she spoke upon waking, everything began to change. She replaced the old decree with a new one. She said, "I wake into strength. The life of God fills me now. My body is renewed in the night and rises ready." She said it every morning, not with certainty at first, but with willingness, and slowly the subconscious accepted the new command. And the body followed. Because the body always follows. That is the law. You must understand something fundamental about the nature of your subconscious mind. It does not analyze your words. It does not weigh your intentions. It does not stop to ask whether you are serious or speaking carelessly. It receives. That is its only function. It receives what you impress upon it, and then it sets every process of your body into motion to express that impression in flesh. This means that when you say in frustration, "My body is falling apart," you are not releasing steam. You are issuing a command. When you sigh and say, "I am always sick," you are not simply observing a pattern. You are instructing your subconscious to maintain that pattern. When you tell a friend, "I never have energy, I never sleep well, I never feel strong," the subconscious does not know you are complaining. It only knows you are commanding, and it obeys. This is why careless speech is so dangerous to your health. Not because of superstition, but because of law. The law that governs your inner life is exact. It is precise. And it does not make exceptions for the words you did not mean. Think of the great Caruso. Before the most important performance of his life, terror seized him, his throat closed, his voice vanished. His body obeyed the impression of fear with perfect accuracy. He stood in the wings of the stage, this man whose voice could move thousands, and he could not produce a single note. But Caruso did not surrender to the impression. He spoke to it. He cried out from within himself, "Get out of my way. The power within me sings. It sings through me now." He commanded his subconscious with authority, and his subconscious, faithful as always, accepted the new command. The fear dissolved. The voice returned, and he walked onto that stage and filled the hall with sound that made grown men weep. What changed in those moments between terror and triumph? Not the hall, not the audience, not the voice itself. The command changed, and the body obeyed. This is what is available to you tonight. Not when you feel better, not when things improve. Now, in the exact condition you are in, the power to change the command is yours. There are those who will say, "But I have been sick for so long." The illness is real. The pain is real. I am not imagining it. And I will tell you this, your pain is real. Your illness is real. No one stands before you tonight to diminish what you have suffered or to suggest that what you feel in your body is only in your mind. What I am telling you is something far more significant. I am telling you that the same subconscious power that has been expressing sickness can express health. That the same faithful servant that has been obeying the decree of exhaustion can obey the decree of renewal. The illness did not come from nowhere. It was grown in the soil of your inner life, fed by impressions of fear, of worry, of hopelessness repeated until the subconscious accepted them as law. And if one set of impressions could grow sickness in that soil, another set of impressions can grow health in the same soil. The soil does not choose what it grows. The soil grows what you plant. Plant differently tonight, and you will harvest differently tomorrow. I once counseled a man who had lived with chronic pain in his back for 7 years. He told me he had tried everything. He had seen every kind of physician. He had worn every kind of support. He had taken every kind of remedy, and the pain remained. When I listened to him speak about his body, the source of his suffering became clear to me within minutes. He referred to his back as the bad back. "Every day, my bad back," he would say. Every morning, the bad back was there waiting for him, he told me, as if it were a separate, hostile presence in his life. He had named his pain. He had given it identity. He had installed it as a permanent resident of his body with the lease of his own words. And his subconscious, ever faithful, renewed that lease every day. I told him, "You must evict this tenant. Not by fighting it, but by withdrawing the command that keeps it there. Instead of greeting your back each morning with the name bad, speak to it with authority and truth. Say, 'My back is strong. The healing power of God flows through every nerve, every muscle, every vertebra. I am aligned. I am whole. I am free.'" He looked at me with the particular expression of a man who has suffered long enough to be skeptical of simple answers. But he was also desperate enough to try. He began that evening. He spoke to his back before sleep. He spoke to it upon waking. He spoke the new decree not once or twice, but persistently, deliberately, the way a farmer tends a new planting. Within 6 weeks, the pain that had lived in his body for 7 years had reduced by more than half. Within 4 months, he called it, for the first time in nearly a decade, simply my back. Not the bad back, just his back functioning, moving, serving him. The tenant had been evicted. Because the command had changed. Because the law had not changed. The law never changes. Only the command changes, and the command is always yours to give. Now let us speak about the words you will say to your body tonight. Not tomorrow, tonight. Before you close your eyes, before you drift into the hours of sleep when your subconscious is wide open and most receptive, you will speak these words with intention. You will not rush them. You will not mumble them. You will speak them as a person who understands that they carry the force of law. Say this with me now. Every cell of my body is filled with the healing light of God. My body knows how to heal. It was designed for wholeness. Right now, in this moment, healing is at work in me. I am not tired beyond renewal. I am not sick beyond restoration. I am a living being through whom divine life flows without ceasing. My nerves are calming. My blood is moving in harmony. My organs are receiving strength. I am whole. I am healed. I am renewed. Speak it until you feel something shift in you. Not a physical shift necessarily, not at first. A shift in your willingness to believe. That willingness is the crack of light under the door, and the subconscious needs only a crack to begin its work. Fear is the counterfeit of faith. Worry is prayer aimed in the wrong direction. When you rehearse your illness in your mind, when you imagine the worst outcomes, when you anticipate tomorrow's pain before tomorrow has come, you are not being realistic. You are praying to sickness. You are impressing your subconscious with the image of disease and asking your body to express it. The subconscious does not judge whether your prayer is spoken in faith or in fear. It only judges the depth and persistence of the impression. This is why fear, when held long enough, always produces what it fears. Not because the universe punishes the fearful, but because the subconscious simply executes the dominant impression. If fear is dominant, the body follows fear. If faith is dominant, the body follows faith. Tonight we begin to make faith dominant. A young minister in his late 30s came to understand this law at a moment when he needed it most. His physicians had given him a diagnosis that left him standing in a parking lot, unable to drive home, unable to think about anything except the word they had used. Terminal, he sat in his car for a long time, and then something moved in him that was older and stronger than the word terminal. He drove home. He went to his room, and he began to speak. He said, I reject the decree of men, I accept the decree of God. The decree of God is life. The decree of God is health. The decree of God is wholeness. He did not say it once. He did not say it for a day or a week. He said it for months, every morning before he rose, every evening before he slept, every moment when fear tried to reclaim the ground he was taking back. He visualized his body whole. He saw himself standing at his pulpit strong and clear. He impressed upon his subconscious the image of health with such persistence, such conviction, such unwavering commitment that the subconscious had no choice but to accept the new law, and the body followed the law. His physicians called what happened extraordinary. He called it the ordinary operation of an extraordinary law. The law that declares what you impress is what you express. Write it again. Say it again. What you impress is what you express. Do not make the mistake of waiting until you feel better to begin speaking life to your body. This is the error of the man who refuses to plant seeds until after the harvest. The speaking comes before the change. The impression comes before the expression. You do not earn the right to affirm health by first achieving it. You affirm health and then achieve it, because the affirmation is the cause and the health is the effect. This ordering is essential. If you wait to feel strong before you declare, I am strong, you will wait forever. If you declare, I am strong, with persistence and conviction, the feeling will follow. The subconscious responds to the impression, not to the current condition. The current condition is simply the most recent harvest from previous seeds. Tonight you plant new seeds, and a new harvest becomes inevitable. There was a woman who had not slept deeply in 2 years. Every night was a battle. Every morning a defeat. She told me, I dread the night. I lie down knowing I will not sleep. And the subconscious heard her dread as a command. I will not sleep. It obeyed with terrible faithfulness. Night after night, the command was fulfilled. I will not sleep. I will not sleep. I will not sleep, the body. loyal and precise, did not sleep. I told her to change the last words she spoke each night before closing her eyes. I asked her to say, "Sleep comes to me easily and naturally. My body knows how to rest. My mind grows quiet now. The healing of the night restores me completely. I wake refreshed and strong." She told me she did not believe it at first. I told her it did not matter whether she believed it immediately. What mattered was that she say it consistently, persistently every night, without adding the voice of doubt on top of the decree. The subconscious needs repetition more than it needs immediate conviction. Repetition builds conviction in the subconscious the same way water carves stone, not by force but by consistency. She repeated the new decree every night for 3 weeks before she noticed the change. Then one morning she woke and realized she had slept the whole night through. Then another morning, then another. The subconscious had accepted the new law. The body had obeyed the new command. The law had not changed, the decree had changed, and the law faithfully fulfilled the new decree. Your body is holy ground. This is a truth that the pressures of daily life bury so deeply that most people live their entire lives without touching it. Your body is not a machine that breaks down. It is not a burden you carry. It is the temple of the living God. It is animated by a life force that does not originate in your flesh. It originates in the infinite. And that infinite life force within you is always moving toward wholeness. Always. It is only the impressions of fear and defeat and resignation that obstruct the flow. Remove the obstruction with a new decree and the flow restores itself. Health is not something you have to manufacture. Health is the natural state of a body whose subconscious is receiving the right impressions. You are not building something from nothing when you affirm healing. You are removing the blockage that was preventing the natural flow of life from expressing itself fully through you. Say this with me now and say it as though your body is listening, because it is. I speak to every cell of my body with authority and love. You are strong. You are whole. You are the dwelling of divine life, and divine life does not fail. Where there was pain, healing is moving in now. Where there was weariness, strength is rising now. Where there was sickness, order is being restored now. I do not fight my body. I bless my body. I do not curse my condition. I speak above my condition. The healing presence of God is within me, and that presence knows no failure, knows no impossibility, knows no disease it cannot dissolve. I receive my healing now. I receive my strength now. I receive my wholeness now. Write this down. Put it where you will see it in the morning. Let it be the first thing you speak upon waking. Let it be the last thing you whisper before sleeping. The subconscious will labor through every hour in between to bring this decree into expression. There is no disease so advanced that the subconscious cannot be given a new command. There is no weariness so deep that the law of renewal cannot reach it. There is no body so worn that the infinite life within it has surrendered. The infinite does not surrender. It waits. It waits for the day when you will stop agreeing with the illness and begin agreeing with health. It waits for the hour when you will stop rehearsing defeat and begin rehearsing victory. It waits for the moment when you will look at your tired, aching body and say, not with despair but with authority, "You are healed." Not because I can see it yet, but because the law is real and the law is working and the law cannot fail. That moment is tonight. That moment is now. I recall a man who was told his energy would never return to what it had been. He was in his early 60s, and the physicians spoke of his condition as something to be managed, not overcome. He came to understand the law of the subconscious, and he made one decision. He decided to stop accepting the ceiling they had placed over his life. He began every morning by saying, "I am energized by divine life. I have the vitality of a man in his prime. The infinite within me does not age. I am strong. I am alive. I am whole." He said it when he did not feel it. He said it when the fatigue argued with him. He said it when his body seemed to contradict every word. He persisted. Month after month, the new decree took root in his subconscious. His energy returned, not partially, fully. He outlived the ceiling his physicians had imagined for him because the law he was working with was older and greater than their assessment. The law that says what you impress is what you express honored his persistent impression of strength, and his body expressed it. Let these words now seal themselves in you. Let them move past your reason and your doubt and your accumulated weariness and settle into the deep place where all true change begins. Your body has been listening to a story that was not worthy of you. Tonight the story changes. Tonight the command changes. Tonight you step into your authority as the one who gives the instructions, and your body steps back into its rightful role as the faithful servant that carries those instructions out. Say these words now and mean them with whatever measure of faith you can gather in this moment. I am one with the healing power of God. My body is strong. My cells are renewed. My blood is pure and flowing in harmony. My nerves are calm. My mind is at peace. Every organ in me is receiving life and expressing life. I am not defeated. I am not finished. I am not beyond reach. I am healed. I am whole. I am restored. Write it. Whisper it. Repeat it until it becomes the rhythm of your breath and the conviction of your heart. Because what you impress tonight, your body will begin to express. The law is certain, the law is faithful, and the law cannot fail. There is something that happens to a person when they have been sick for a long time that is more dangerous than the sickness itself. It is the moment they stop expecting to be well. It is the quiet internal surrender that masquerades as acceptance, that calls itself being realistic, that wraps itself in the language of maturity and practicality. You learn to live with it, people say. You adjust. You lower what you ask of your body. You stop imagining mornings without pain. You stop picturing yourself moving freely. You stop expecting to wake rested. And in doing so, you do not accept the illness. You command it. You enshrine it. You hand your subconscious the most permanent decree it has ever received. I will be this way. I have accepted this. This is my life now, and the subconscious, which cannot distinguish surrender from instruction, takes the decree and builds a body around it, not out of cruelty, out of loyalty. Because you are the master, and the master has spoken. Tonight I am asking you to take back the throne, not with fury, not with desperation, with quiet, unwavering authority. The authority of a person who has discovered a law that does not bend, does not fail, and does not require your current circumstances to validate it before it will work. The law works first. The circumstances follow. This is the order. This has always been the order. And every man and woman who has ever walked out of a sickness that the world called permanent, every person who has ever risen from a bed of exhaustion to live in genuine strength, every soul who has ever reclaimed health that doctors said was gone, did so by learning this order and honoring it. Impression first, expression second, always. Without exception, I think of a woman named Clara who had suffered with her nerves for years. That was how she described it. My nerves, she would say, as though they were a difficult relative she had learned to tolerate. My nerves are bad today. My nerves won't let me rest. My nerves are the reason I cannot do what I want to do. She had built an identity around the condition of her nervous system. She had made her nerves the governing authority of her life, and they governed accordingly. Every morning the verdict was delivered, and it was always the same. Clara's nerves are in charge today, and they are not well. When she discovered the law, she made one change that altered everything. She stopped giving her nerves a name and a power they did not deserve. She stopped granting them authority over her days. Instead, she began each morning by speaking directly to her nervous system with a new decree. My nerves are instruments of the divine. They carry peace. They carry steadiness. They carry the calm of God through every part of me. I am not at the mercy of my nerves. My nerves are at the service of my wholeness. She said it every morning. She said it when her hands shook. She said it when the anxiety rose. She said it not as a desperate plea, but as a decree from someone who had remembered who was in charge. Within weeks the shaking lessened. Within months it was gone. Her nerves, those difficult relatives she had lived in fear of, had become what she had always spoken them to be. Peaceful, steady, obedient to a higher law than anxiety. You must also understand the power of the image you hold in your mind. Words alone are seeds. But words wrapped in vivid imagination are seeds planted in rich full sun and living water. When you say, "I am healed," the words carry power. But when you say, "I am healed," and simultaneously you see yourself healed, you feel yourself moving through a day without pain. You imagine yourself waking in the morning light and taking a deep breath that costs you nothing. You picture your body doing what bodies were made to do with ease and strength and joy. The impression upon your subconscious deepens enormously. The subconscious receives images even more readily than it receives words. It speaks in pictures. It thinks in scenes. When you give it a scene of wholeness, vivid and felt, it accepts that scene as a command and sets every process of your body in motion to match it. This is why before you sleep tonight, I want you to do more than repeat words. I want you to see yourself well. I want you to take 5 minutes in the dark and the quiet and construct, with all the detail you can gather, the image of yourself in health. See your body the way it was designed to be. See yourself rising in the morning without dread. See yourself moving through your day with energy that does not run dry. See yourself eating without fear, sleeping without battle, breathing without effort. See your face with color in it. See your eyes clear. See your hands steady. See yourself laughing, not carefully but freely, the way a person laughs who is not managing a condition. Hold that image. Feel it. Let it be real inside you before it is real outside you. Because the subconscious does not know the difference between a vivid imagined scene and a lived experience. Both register as real. Both become commands. Both are expressed in the body with equal faithfulness. Give your subconscious the scene of your health tonight, and it will spend every sleeping hour working to bring that scene into your waking life. There was a man I knew who had lost the use of his left hand after an injury. The physicians said the nerve damage was irreversible. They spoke with the particular finality that medicine sometimes adopts, the finality that means we have reached the edge of what we know, and we are calling that edge the edge of what is possible. He was a craftsman. His hands were not incidental to his life. They were his life. The loss of the use of that hand threatened not just his livelihood, but his sense of himself, his identity, the thing that made his days meaningful. He could have accepted the decree. Many would have. But something in him refused. He began to work the law. Every day he held his left hand and spoke to it. Not in grief, in command. He said the life of God flows through you. The nerve pathways are being restored. Intelligence and vitality are moving into every finger. You are whole. You are capable. You are fully alive. He did this every single day. He also visualized his hand working. He saw himself at his workbench, both hands moving with precision, crafting the things he loved. He held that image with faith and persistence. Over the following months, sensation returned to fingers the physicians had said would never feel again. Then movement returned, slow at first, then more certain. Within a year, his hand had recovered function that the medical verdict had declared impossible. He told me later that he never argued with the physicians. He simply declined to let their assessment become his subconscious command. He chose a different command. And the law, impartial and faithful, fulfilled the command he chose. Now, I want to speak to you about something you may have been carrying that is heavier than the physical sickness itself. I want to speak to you about the grief of being sick and tired, because there is a grief in it that no one talks about. The grief of missing the person you were before. The grief of watching life happen at a distance because your body will not let you in. The grief of plans that were cancelled, of things you wanted to do that the illness took from you, of mornings you woke and felt the weight of it before you even remembered why. This grief is real, and I am not asking you to pretend it is not there. I am asking you to understand something about it that will change how you carry it. Grief, when it is allowed to become a permanent resident of the subconscious, when it is rehearsed daily and fed with the details of what was lost, becomes an impression. And the subconscious, receiving that impression, will continue to fashion a body and a life that matches it. A body that is still in the posture of loss. A life still shaped around absence. Not because healing is unavailable, but because the dominant impression is still grief. Let the grief be felt. Let it move through you. And then let it go. Replace it with the impression of what is coming. Not what was. What is coming. The strength that is returning. The health that is taking root even now. The mornings that are ahead of you that will feel different from this one. Let that be the dominant impression. Let the subconscious build toward what is coming rather than echo what was lost. Say this with me now. I release the memory of sickness from my body. I release the identity of a person who is always unwell. I release the expectation of pain and I replace it with the expectation of healing. My body is not a record of everything that has gone wrong. My body is a living instrument of divine intelligence that is moving right now toward wholeness. I do not live in what was, I live in what is becoming, and what is becoming in me is health, strength, peace, and life. Say it. Write it. Let it replace every quiet, resigned whisper that has been telling your subconscious to keep things exactly as they are. There is a principle that Joseph Murphy returned to again and again throughout his life because he had seen its power in case after case, in body after body, in life after life. He called it the law of reversibility. What the subconscious has built by one set of impressions, it can rebuild by another. There is no condition so established, no pattern so entrenched, no illness so long-standing that a persistent new impression cannot reverse it. The subconscious built the current condition from the inside out. It can rebuild health from the inside out with the same faithfulness. It does not matter how long the illness has been there. It does not matter how many people have confirmed it. It does not matter how many mornings you have woken inside it. What matters is the impression you are planting now. What matters is the decree you are giving tonight. Begin now and the reversal begins now, not when you feel ready. Now, because readiness is not what starts the law working. Decision is, I want to give you something specific to carry into every morning from this night forward. A practice that takes less than 3 minutes, but that, if you honor it consistently, will change the conversation your body has been having with your subconscious for months or years. The moment you wake, before you check your phone, before you speak to anyone, before you assess how you feel, speak to your body. Speak to it the way a loving and confident physician would speak to a patient they fully expect to recover. Say, "Good morning, body. You are healing through the night. Every cell renewed itself in the dark. Every organ is receiving life. Every nerve is carrying peace. I wake into strength. I wake into health. I wake into a day in which healing is continuing its work in me. I am grateful for this body that serves me. I bless it with these words and I release it to express the wholeness that is already its true nature." 3 minutes. Every morning. Before the world gets its decree in ahead of yours. Before the habit of assessment, the inventory of symptoms, the measuring of how bad today is compared to yesterday. Yours first, the decree of life first. Let it be the first seed of every day and watch what grows. There is one more thing I must say to you before we seal this evening's truth together. It is perhaps the most important thing. And it is this: you are not doing this alone. The law you are working with is not a private invention. It is not a trick of the mind that depends entirely on your own will and your own strength. It is the law of the infinite expressing itself through you. When you speak healing to your body, you are not manufacturing something from nothing. You are aligning with a power that was moving toward your wholeness before you even knew to ask for it. The same intelligence that designed your body, that knit it together from its very first moments, that knows every cell and every nerve and every process within you more intimately than any physician ever could. That intelligence has never stopped working on your behalf. It has never concluded that you were beyond its reach. It has never decided that your case was too difficult. It waits only for you to stop arguing against it with the words of despair and defeat and resignation. The moment you stop arguing against it, the moment you align with it through the words and images of health and wholeness, it moves. With everything it has. On your behalf. This is not a small thing you are doing when you speak these words to your body. You are not just adjusting your thinking. You are opening a channel to the infinite and inviting it to do what it has always desired to do. heal you. So let us end this night with a living word, a decree so clear and so full that the subconscious will receive it like dry ground receives rain. Say these words with me, and say them not as a hopeful wish, but as an announcement of what is already true in the deeper law. Even if the body has not yet caught up, I am one with the healing presence of God. That presence fills every cell of my body right now. My blood carries life, my nerves carry peace, my bones carry strength, my lungs carry the breath of the infinite. Every organ is performing its perfect function. Every system is moving in harmony. I am not a sick person waiting to be healed. I am a whole person whose body is catching up to the truth of what I already am in divine law. I release fear. I release resignation. I release the story that says this is permanent. I plant tonight the seed of wholeness. I water it with faith. I protect it from the frost of doubt. And I rest in the certainty that what the infinite has begun in me, it will complete. I am healed. I am whole. I am strong. I am free. Write it. Whisper it, sleep inside it, and wake to find it taking root. The law is sure, the law is faithful, and the law cannot fail. There are nights when the body speaks louder than any affirmation. Nights when the pain does not wait politely while you recite your decree. Nights when the weariness is so complete that even lifting your voice feels like too much to ask. I know this, and I want you to know that I know it. On those nights, the law does not require your performance. It does not demand that you feel strong before it will work. It asks only for your willingness. A whisper is enough. A single word breathed into the dark is enough. The subconscious does not measure volume. It measures sincerity. It measures the depth from which the word is sent. On the nights when all you have is one word, let that word be yes. Yes to healing. Yes to life. Yes to the possibility that tomorrow can be different from today. That single yes, offered from the bottom of your exhaustion, carries more power than 1,000 affirmations spoken carelessly in comfort, because it is offered against the weight of everything that argues against it, and the subconscious receives it as the most determined command it has ever been given. I think of a man who came to understand this on the worst night of his illness. He had been fighting for months, and on this particular night he had nothing left to fight with. He lay in the dark and he could not speak. He could not visualize. He could not construct an affirmation. All he could do was breathe. And in the breathing he found the prayer. With each breath in he thought one word, life. With each breath out he released one word, fear in, life, out fear, in, life, out fear. He did this for an hour in the dark until sleep took him. And when he woke the next morning, something had shifted. Not dramatically, not completely, but something had moved. A small door had opened. He told me later that he believed that night was the turning point, not because of what he had accomplished, but because of what he had refused to do. He had refused to let the hardest night become the final decree. He had refused to let the silence of his worst hour become a command of surrender. With nothing more than a breath and a single word, he had kept the channel open. And the infinite, which needs only an open channel, had moved through it. This is the truth about persistence that most people misunderstand. They imagine it requires continuous strength. They picture it as an unbroken wall of faith, solid and impenetrable, never wavering. But real persistence is not the absence of hard nights. It is the refusal to let the hard nights write the final word. It is waking the morning after the worst night and saying, I am still here. I still choose healing. I still plant the seed even though last night the frost came. The subconscious does not grade your performance. It accumulates your direction. And if your direction, even with its imperfect nights, even with its moments of doubt, remains consistently pointed toward health and wholeness, the subconscious will follow that direction. It will build toward it. Night by night, decree by decree, breath by breath it will build. There is a woman whose story I carry with me because it speaks to something in the human spirit that I believe is present in everyone who has ever truly suffered and refused to stop hoping. She had been ill for so long that she could not remember what it felt like to be well. The memory of health had become abstract, theoretical, something that belonged to a version of herself she could barely picture. She told me once, "I know I used to feel good, but I cannot remember what it felt like in my body. I cannot find it anymore." And I told her, "You do not need to remember it. You need to imagine it. The subconscious does not distinguish between a memory and a vivid imagination. Both arrive with equal weight. If the memory is gone, build the image fresh. Construct it deliberately. What would it feel like to wake without pain? What would your first breath of the morning feel like if it cost you nothing? What would your hands feel like moving freely? What would your legs feel like carrying you without effort? Build that, detail by detail. Feel it as you build it. And when it is built, give it to your subconscious as a command. This is where I am going. This is what I am becoming. This is the truth that my body is moving toward." She did this every night for 4 months, and then one morning she woke and something was familiar in a way she could not immediately name. She lay still, wondering, and then she understood. The feeling she had imagined so many times in the dark, the feeling of waking without dread, was present. Not completely, not perfectly, but present, real, in her body. The subconscious had been building toward the image she kept offering it, and it had arrived quietly, while she slept, the way all true things arrive, not with announcement, but with presence. You have been given tonight the tools that matter most, not a prescription, not a program, not a system with steps and stages and requirements. You have been given the law, the simple, ancient, unfailing law that what you impress upon your subconscious, your body will express. Everything else follows from this. Everything else is detail. The core is this: you are the one who gives the command. Your body is the one that carries it out. The subconscious is the faithful servant that receives the command and delivers it without question into your flesh. Change the command and you change the expression. This is the whole of it. Simple enough to begin tonight. Powerful enough to change everything. Do not wait for a sign before you begin. Do not wait to feel ready. Do not wait for the pain to lessen before you declare that it is lessening. Do not wait for the energy to return before you announce that it is returning. The announcement comes first. The arrival follows. This is the order of the law, and it does not reverse. Plant first, harvest second, impress first, express second, declare first, receive second. Begin tonight. In the condition you are in, with the faith you have, however small, with the voice you have, however tired. Begin. Because every moment you continue to wait is a moment you are still giving the old command. And every moment you speak the new command is a moment the subconscious is already turning the wheel toward your healing. Say these words now. Say them slowly. Say them as though you are speaking to the most faithful companion you have ever had, because you are. You are speaking to the subconscious that has served you without rest from your very first breath, that has never abandoned you, that has built everything you asked of it without complaint, and that is ready right now to build something new. Say this: I speak to my body with love and with authority. I speak to every cell, every nerve, every organ, every system within me. You are not my burden. You are my companion, and I have not been speaking rightly to you. I have been giving you commands I did not intend to give. Commands of defeat, of exhaustion, of permanence, of hopelessness. I take those commands back tonight. I replace them with the truth. The truth is that you were made for wholeness. The truth is that the power that formed you is still within you, and it has not given up. The truth is that healing is not something that happens to lucky people. It is something that happens to people who plant the right seeds and refuse to uproot them. I am planting tonight. I am committing to the tending. I will not uproot what I plant with the frost of doubt. I will water it every morning with declaration and every night with visualization. I will be patient with the growing because I trust the law. And the law says what is impressed is expressed. I impress health. I impress strength. I impress wholeness. And I will watch with patience and with faith as my body expresses what I have planted. Write that down, all of it, or the parts that moved in you as you heard them. Put it on paper, and put the paper where your eyes will find it in the morning. Before the world gets its word in ahead of yours, let your own decree be the first thing you encounter. Let the law be the first thing you remember. Let health be the first seed you plant each day, and let it be the last thought you carry into sleep. The law is not complicated. It has never been complicated. What you impress is what you express. Your body is listening. It has always been listening. It is listening right now. And what it hears from you tonight will become the instruction it carries into tomorrow, into next week, into the months ahead. You are not powerless. You have never been powerless. You hold in your own voice, in your own thought, in your own quiet decoration before sleep, the power to change the conversation your body has been having with your subconscious. That conversation changes tonight, because you have heard the law, and now that you have heard it, you cannot unhear it. You cannot return to unconscious misuse without knowing that you are choosing it. From this night forward, you choose consciously, and I believe with everything in me that a person who chooses consciously will choose life, will choose health, will choose the decree of wholeness over the decree of defeat. So this is where we end, not with a farewell, with a beginning, the beginning of the new conversation, the first words of the new command. Speak them with me one final time, and let them be the seal of everything you have received tonight. I am one with divine healing. My body is whole. My mind is calm. My spirit is free. Every cell responds to the life of God within me. I release what was. I embrace what is becoming. I plant in faith. I rest in certainty. I wake in strength. I live in health. I am healed now. I am whole now. I am renewed now. The law is sure. The law is faithful. The law is working in me at this very moment, and it cannot fail. Write it. Whisper it. Sleep inside it. And rise tomorrow as someone who has planted and who trusts the harvest. Because it is coming, it is already on its way, and nothing can stop a seed that has been planted in faith from becoming exactly what it was always meant to be.